Yaldabaoth gazed once more upon the universe he had created. After bringing forth the first archons to help him structure the world, our world, he understood that he still needed another archon to impose order. But what is Harmas's true role within the ordered structure of illusion? Is he the one who regulates the universe justly? Or is he another agent of illusion, holding the soul in invisible chains, a system of thought and control that represses its pneuma? Perhaps is he the very incarnation of the norm, which, in its quest for perfection, becomes an obstacle to the quest for truth. In the Gnostic cosmological order, Harmas is neither a divine light nor a creator. He is a distorted emanation of Yaldabaoth, an hypostasis of the principles of order, laws, and norms that govern the material world. His existence is a continuation of the separation imposed by Yaldabaoth, a force that establishes a rigid structure within which every human being is subjected to imposed rules beyond their own will and their own divine light. Harmas, as the archon of laws and rules, embodies the perfection of illusion, an immutable structure founded upon rigid principles that prevent the soul from freeing itself from the established order. He is the one who, by imposing the rule, deprives the human soul of its spiritual freedom. Thus, Harmas is the incarnation of distorted rationality. He sees the world only through the lens of order, regulation, and constraint. For him, everything is a matter of conformity to a system, a norm that, in its quest for perfection, ends up crushing the true nature of the soul. Harmas occupies a central place in the cosmological order of the Kenoma, where the separation from the pleroma is most manifest. While Saklas governs material illusion and Atoth imposes the cycles of time, Harmas ensures that the system functions according to immutable rules, thereby establishing a rigid order. His role is to impose a fixed order, a law that governs material existence and the human soul. Unlike Saklas, who creates illusion, and Atoth, who binds the soul to time and reincarnation, Harmas imposes a permanence within the illusion of norm that cannot be violated without entailing profound and inevitable consequences. Under Harmas's influence, the human being establishes a social norm imposing obedience to established structures, such as civil laws, family rules, and education. These laws are often perceived as natural and unavoidable, yet they limit the soul's capacity to fully realize itself and to question the established order. Any deviation from this social norm can entail profound consequences, such as social exclusion or isolation, thereby reinforcing the idea that the soul is trapped within a rigid structure. Under Harmas's reign, the soul is prisoner to a system that tolerates no deviation, no divergence. The material world becomes an ordered world, but one that lacks freedom. Every aspect of human life is governed by rules, and the human soul, under Harmas's influence, constantly seeks to conform to this universal norm, thereby losing its true divine essence. Harmas governs the principles of order and normality, but what he imposes is far from natural. He not only governs external laws, but also imposes mental laws and psychic structures that limit the soul in its capacity to liberate itself. The mental laws imposed by Harmas manifest as conditioned thoughts, such as the idea that one must follow a predetermined path, whether academic or professional. An imposed path, without ever questioning the very nature of this trajectory or exploring alternatives. These psychic rules also governs desires by imposing ideals of success, perfection, and conformity, which prevent the soul from truly listening to itself and reconnecting with its divine light. Under Harmas's influence, the soul finds itself caught in a distorted perception of reality, where the illusion of the norm and the rule prevail over spiritual freedom. The soul's desires, emotions, and thoughts are subjected to a system of imposed values, where every action and every thought must correspond to an external norm. Finally, the social rules of a culture or group also become a psychological burden. In this regard, work as a means to achieve material goals, or the idea that success is linked to conformity to a single model of life, become mental alienation. This norm becomes a psychic prison, for it prevents the soul from connecting to its pneuma, that divine spark which seeks to free itself from the straitjacket of matter. The soul is thus trapped within an imposed mental structure, a rigid organization that prevents spiritual fulfillment, stifling the quest for truth and divine light. Harmas plays an essential role in the illusion he creates by imposing the universal norm. If Saklas imposes material illusion and Atoth governs reincarnation, Harmas is the one who locks the human soul within a rigid system of thoughts and actions. As the archon of the norm, he prevents any new creation, any form of spiritual originality. The soul must conform to an order that seems just and perfect, but which, in reality, is an obstacle to spiritual fulfillment. Under Harmas's influence, the soul is subjected to a distorted perception of order and perfection. Every thought and every desire is governed by external principles, imposed without the possibility of questioning. In this, Harmas becomes a guarantor of illusion. By imposing an absolute norm, he maintains the soul within a psychological prison, preventing it from reconnecting with its true divine nature and accessing gnosis. Let us now return to the question that animated our reflection. Is Harmas the one who regulates the universe justly? Or is he another agent of illusion, holding the soul in invisible chains? A system of thought and control that represses its pneuma. By imposing order and the norm, Harmas reveals himself to be another agent of illusion. In creating rigid structures and immutable laws, he reinforces the illusion of control and the perpetuation of the separation between the soul and its divine light. Under his influence, the soul is condemned to conform to external rules, thereby stifling its true divine nature and preventing it from reconnecting with its pneuma. The norm he imposes becomes a psychological prison, maintaining the human soul in a state of spiritual alienation. But other archons labor in the shadows to maintain the illusion of this system. Cadida Umbri, for her part, embodies the illusion of desire and the seduction of the world. We shall see how her role contributes to maintaining the human soul within the illusion of control and conformity.